Good afternoon, Virgos. Welcome back to Will's Cartomancy Tarot. What I'd like to do for you this evening is to give you a romantic, specific base reading, which will be valid until the end of this month. And to save down on some time, Virgos, I've already shuffled the deck and illustrated the cards as shown here using a regular deck of cards, okay? So prior to getting to your reading, let's go on and just make some general observations, and then we're going to move on. Let's first look at do a suit assessment. Okay, looking at your cards here, you pretty much have a predominance of hearts and diamonds there. Okay, because your card here, the Queen of Club, that call fell to the bottom of the deck, and it's not really originally a part of this particular spread. So since you have a predominance of hearts and diamonds, Virgo, your primary concern pertains to your emotional responses to a situation, be it affairs of the heart, perhaps your job, celebration, and perhaps a myriad of other events. Since there are also, as I said, suggested a predominance of diamonds there, there might be a concern about your resources, which might include money, career, property, or economic concerns. They show that you want to approach the matter with a very practical attitude and that you're trying your best to be very realistic about your situation and things that you're going through. You know, it also says that endeavors are going to go smoothly for you, Virgo, and that your goal is going to be easily attained. Okay, let's go on and look at your number trend in this reading here. Okay, when I add up all of the numbers here, it comes out to a number of 6. So this reading tells you to kind of, look beneath the surface, Virgo, of your matter and use your head when it comes to kind of making an informed decision. The message here, or the key to this message, is all about, really trying to establish harmony and balance. Okay, and that's in all matters. Okay, also, since most of the prevailing numbers are mostly high and above, you're reaching the end or conclusion stage of this matter, Virgo. Therefore, radical changes are to be expected when you see those, high cards there. Okay? Let's go on and look at your color combination here. You have mostly red cards here, so it tells me that a good outcome is to be expected. Okay? Let's move right along and look at a few card combinations, okay? We have the Jack of Hearts there, and since it sits next, near the King of Diamonds, this shows that you are really being protected somehow. Also, since this Jack is surrounded, by several diamonds, this indicates good news might be coming from afar, okay? We also have 2 kings there, and that clearly shows infidelity in this relationship. It even shows a consultation or even an opinion being offered to you somehow. It also shows business type schemes, with friends that perhaps will lead to long term success. And I'm feeling that for many of you, it also shows the importance of your past and present relationship, with men and or women, or even authority figures and how they might impact you. This combination kind of shows that you're certainly going to be in contact with some type of authority figure for some reason or another. Okay? You also have several court cards in this reading, and this suggests that there are others involved in this matter and perhaps influencing your situation. It also denotes, invitations of all sorts that are be coming to your parties and perhaps social gatherings. Okay? Let's combine the King of Diamond along with the Nine of Spades there, and that denotes a person perhaps with a physical disability such as perhaps arthritis or osteoporosis. Okay? We have a court card here also beside that Nine of Spades, so that denotes a feeling that worrying can make matters better when you have no control over it, Virgo. So the hint is to really take your hand off the situation and kind of let, time be the deciding factor. Okay, we also have the Jack of Hearts there, and let's combine that along with the King of Diamonds, and that denotes, that someone around you has romantic feelings for you, and that person's interest will be expressed, it looks like, via a phone call or perhaps in person. Okay, you also have the King of Hearts there as well as the Jack of Hearts, and that shows that you have a smooth talker around you, perhaps a Casanova, or even for a Jezebel type person, one who is really a smooth talker and kind of tells people what he or she thinks, that the person wants to kind of hear. Okay, and we have the Nine of Spades there as well, so that shows a lot of anxieties, nightmares, and sleeping disorders. And with the Jack of Hearts there, it shows that perhaps some of you may have been having sore throat issues or problems somehow with your throat. Okay, we also have this Eight of Clubs there, and that Eight of Clubs shows that you really can rely on your inner strength because, and if you kind of trust your heart in your intuition with all of the hearts there. Okay, let's move right along and look at a few more combinations. And, looking at this Jack of Hearts, since the Jack appears primarily in the middle of this layout, this suggests that you might be too inclined, perhaps, Virgo, to drinking, smoking, partying, or perhaps spending carelessly, and might need to take life a bit more seriously. Also, you might meet someone who is very friendly and cheerful. Like I said, it looks like it could be perhaps a water sign, a Pisces, a Scorpio, or a Cancer. But you might want to keep your eyes open because note that this Jack is a Casanova or a Jezebel type, and therefore, this person could be here one day and gone tomorrow. Okay. Additionally, you also have this Six of Diamonds there, and since that falls near the bottom, and it's flanked by the Jack of Hearts there, there might be a business transaction in the making between the two of you, between you and a friend or you and someone that's close to you, that can result in a good profit if you were to pursue it. But you have to be a little bit more alert about your situation. Otherwise, it looks like that you might miss a good opportunity, Virgo. Let's go on and look at your elementary dignitaries. And just to remind you, Virgo, when one element is really combined with another, these two elements form a reaction which can result in either a positive, negative, or either perhaps a neutral effect. So let's go on and start with your first. We have the King of Hearts there. And so King of Hearts is water, right? And so let's combine that with the Eight of Clubs, and that's fire. So when you have that combination, these two are opposites, and they kind of tend to weaken each other. Okay, and then we have the Eight of Clubs there. Let's combine that with the King of Diamonds. And that's, of course, that's fire and earth. And with that combination, it has a little effect on one another. Okay, we have the King of Diamonds here, and let's combine that with the Jack of Hearts. And that's earth to water. So this combination is passive, you guys, and therefore supports one another. And the energy, kind of remains the same throughout the Six of Diamonds there when you see earth. But then we kind of move on from there. So we're combining the Six of Diamond, earth, along with the Nine of Spades, which is air. And the energy becomes opposite again, okay, and weaken the other. Hence a frustrating delay. So these are some things that you may be feeling challenging, with regards to your romantic situation. So let's go on and begin and start looking at your bottom card. We have the Queen of Clubs that falls there. So that refers, Virgos, to a fire sign. It could be a Leo, an Aries, or a Sagittarius, perhaps, that you may have some concern about. And this card is all about kind of taking a firmer stance in the situation. And in this case, a love affair, is all about new avenues or perhaps the unexpected, you guys. It therefore says that a lover will or has upset you deeply. And you will be sick and tired of kind of being hurt, and you're going to feel that really there's no option left but to kind of move on. However, you're going to receive an unexpected phone call from a lover, I feel. And you're also going to meet someone new, perhaps they look like they slightly might be from a different background or a different culture or something, or a different upbringing than, how you've been brought up. Okay, let's move right along and look at your current situation. We have the King of Hearts falling there, and that refers to a water sign. It can be a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. And Virgo, this card is all about kind of doing what makes you happy and kind of emotional strength. It therefore says that although you're going to be a bit unhappy with the burden that you perhaps feel that you've been carrying with loved ones, these problems are going to lighten up a bit, you know. It also says that you're going to be in a very happy, flirty mood, and there certainly is going to be many people trying to get your attention, Virgo. Perhaps you might have recently met a water type person and you want to express your deepest feelings. You know, you might have met this person perhaps through boating or swimming or perhaps sailing. You know, also plausible, I'm feeling some of you might feel a bit hurt by a romantic partner and could be perhaps contemplating a way out. Okay? Let's move on to your next card and just examine what you feel internally. We have the Eight of Clubs falling in that position, and of course that denotes a fire sign. It could be a Leo, an Aries, or Sagittarius. I see this card as Mercury has fallen in Sagittarius. So this card shows considerable growth, you know, really in a relationship at a rapid pace, Virgo. It's all about expansion, movement, you know, long distance communication. So this card very well says that the person that you just met or want to kind of be with, you seem like you may have hit it off fairly quickly and you are perhaps hoping it continues to develop. You know, this might be a long distance relationship, in fact, which might soon require you or the both of you to travel. You know, at present, you know, I'm feeling that this card says that while things are somehow in motion, you know, you are kind of optimistic about the future, but nothing is going to be settled at this point. So try not to be over anxious, you know, because conditions of renewal are in fact approaching. And when this process kind of take place, ultimately it certainly is going to lead you to the success that you're hoping for. Okay, let's move right along and see how your lover is feeling, or his or her attitude towards you. We have the King of Diamonds falling in that position, and that denotes an earth sign. It could be a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Also, I kind of see this card as representing a Gemini. So this card is all about kind of taking the initiative and really doing the work that is required of you, Virgo. It is all about communication and expansion. You know, it therefore says, Virgo, that your lover sees you as an upright type person. You know, one who keeps his or her promises and one who is very grounded, you know. You interact well together and with other people. You know, he or she sees you as a nonsense type individual, you know, who doesn't really want to play the field, but to kind of be in a more committed union. Okay? Let's move right along and look at your attitude towards your lover. And we have the Jack of Hearts falling there, and that denotes a water sign. It could be a Pisces, you know, Cancer, or Scorpio. And, you know, this card is all about love, you know, peace, openness, and kind of in meetings. You know, your lover really likes you with this card, but appears perhaps a bit slow moving. I feel that, you know, therefore I feel that he or she is kind of waiting for you to make the first move. Perhaps he or she kind of recently sent you an email or perhaps a love letter or any type of telephonic communication. And this card also kind of forebodes well for a reunion after a separation, that, you know, a lover kind of wants to make peace with you with this card. Okay, let's go on and look at, you know, what in fact is your major challenge, you know, as it relates to this relationship. We have the Six of Diamonds falling there. So, of course, that represents an earth sign, a Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. But I also see the moon being in Taurus there. And when I look at this card as a challenge, it could be perhaps that maybe Virgo, the person that you want to be with, they could be involved with someone of that sign, or you could be involved with someone that's of that sign. So this card is all about really a need to kind of share equally in a relationship, Virgo. It's all about gratification. You know, so since this is showing as a challenge, you know, sharing equally, misunderstandings and perhaps poor communications are going to be a constant challenge, perhaps in the survival of your relationship. Also, you might need to learn how to kind of distinguish between someone who has a real need, Virgo, and someone who is, you know, really trying to use you, you know. Okay, let's move right along and look at your last card here. We have the Nine of Spades falling there, and pretty much this is really the advice that I would like to proffer to you, as well as, you know, the likely outcome. So we have the Nine of Spades there, and that represents an air sign, a Gemini, Libra, or an Aquarius. But I see this card as being Mars, more so in Gemini. So, Virgos, this is the nightmare card. It's all about nagging issues that kind of resurface or that you cannot just get out of your head from the past. It kind of examines our anxieties, our fears, and our worries. It shows unexpected changes. So it therefore says that if you have been separated from your lover, you're going to certainly be reunited, and that you should allow time to kind of really take its course. It says allow someone a chance to kind of explain him or herself further. So Virgo, this is what I have for you. I certainly hope that this reading has added food for thought for you guys. And once again, as with any reading, this reading may not have resonated for everyone, but for those for whom this reading was meant, I certainly like to hear your comments. And Virgo, if you haven't had a chance to subscribe to my channel, please take a moment to do so now. Okay? And once again, I look forward to hearing your comments, and I'll certainly be posting more interesting readings for you guys. Thanks a lot for your time. Enjoy your day.